Everything changes in the next 36 hours, and what I'm about to share will show you exactly why winter is finally ready to make its most powerful statement yet. If you've been wondering when the cold and snow would finally arrive in full force across the United States, I have incredible news. Your wait is officially over. We're tracking massive amounts of snow headed our way this week as multiple winter systems combine with repeated Arctic blasts to drive snowfall deep into areas that rarely see significant winter weather. This isn't going to be a single storm that comes and goes. We're looking at wave after wave of winter weather that will keep conditions active from the northern tier all the way down into the southern United States. Comment below with your exact location right now, because what I'm about to break down will affect different regions in dramatically different ways over the next 7 days. The overall pattern setting up across the country at this moment is absolutely textbook winter, and here's exactly what it means for you. We have a sharp dip in the jet stream currently centered over the Midwest and Northeast. And that dip is about to become significantly more intense over the coming days. Out west, a powerful ridge of high pressure is building along the Pacific coast. And when you see that particular configuration, you know the eastern half of the country is about to get hammered. That western ridge will act like a massive wall, forcing the jet stream to plunge dramatically southward and allowing Arctic air to spill out of Canada with virtually no resistance. As I witness these remarkable atmospheric dynamics unfolding, I'm reminded that these intricate weather patterns reflect the incredible complexity and power of God's design at work. By the middle of this week, that dip in the jet stream will extend all the way from the Great Plains through the Gulf Coast in an absolutely massive trough configuration. We're talking about opening the floodgates for some of the coldest air we've experienced so far this winter season. When you combine that frigid air with multiple waves of moisture moving through the atmospheric pattern, you get the perfect recipe for widespread snow and potentially rare winter weather events. These events could impact areas that typically don't see accumulating snowfall, making this pattern particularly noteworthy from a meteorological perspective. Let me walk you through the precise timeline of what's coming, so you can prepare accordingly for these significant winter weather impacts. Tuesday night into Wednesday morning brings the first wave of winter weather as a cold front pushes southward through the Ohio Valley and into the southeast. Chicago residents should expect snow to begin Tuesday evening, with accumulations likely continuing through Wednesday morning across the metropolitan area. Indianapolis and Louisville will experience the transition from rain to snow as temperatures drop rapidly behind the advancing cold front. Detroit area residents should prepare for moderate snow accumulations Tuesday night, with lake effect enhancement possible from Lake Huron. Wednesday morning will feature rain moving through Kentucky, Arkansas, and Ohio as the front continues its relentless southward progression. But here's where this situation becomes absolutely fascinating. Watch what develops by late Wednesday into Thursday. If sufficient moisture can get pulled northward out of the Gulf, a storm system will attempt to organize near the mid-Atlantic, potentially affecting Maryland and extending into New England. This development would bring light to moderate snowfall across the Ohio Valley and Northeast, with snow in the Appalachian Mountains extending as far south as the Atlanta, Georgia area. Like this video right now, because there's also a significant lake effect snow event that could unfold Wednesday across northwestern Indiana. With northerly winds establishing a long fetch across Lake Michigan, intense lake effect snow bands could develop just west of Fort Wayne near Michigan City. These lake effect events can be incredibly localized, but produce impressive snowfall totals in remarkably short periods of time. Thursday continues the snow coverage across northeastern regions as the organized system works through the area with steady accumulation. There's genuine potential for localized snow flurries and even light snow to reach as far south as eastern Arkansas and northern Georgia. Now, I want to be completely clear that accumulating snowfall isn't highly likely in those southern areas with this particular atmospheric setup. However, the fact that we're even discussing this possibility tells you exactly how unusual and remarkable this weather pattern has become. Late Thursday into Friday brings continued snow across northeastern areas while additional energy drops out of Canada with fresh winter weather. This will deliver another round of light snowfall to the Midwest and Ohio Valley on Friday and Saturday with widespread impacts. The GFS model shows light snow showers pushing as far south as Tennessee, perhaps even reaching northern Mississippi and Alabama by late Friday into early Saturday. These smaller scale snow events can be challenging to predict precisely, especially at the 4 to 5 day range, but they're definitely on our radar. Saturday into Sunday brings another significant surge of snow across the Ohio Valley and East Coast with substantial accumulation potential. This will represent a decent shot of accumulation for numerous areas stretching from the Great Lakes through New England. And here's the remarkable part. Beyond this active period, the atmospheric pattern signals suggest we're absolutely not finished with winter weather. Share this forecast because the models are hinting at more significant winter storm events during the final week of January. While those details remain too far out to nail down specifically, the overall trend is crystal clear. Winter is here to stay for an extended period. Nashville residents should monitor conditions closely because you're positioned where this pattern could bring your most significant snow opportunity in years. Memphis area residents face interesting dynamics where temperature profiles will determine whether you see rain, sleet, or snow from these systems. Atlanta metropolitan area residents should prepare for possible winter weather impacts, especially in northern suburbs where elevation increases snow chances. By Thursday morning, the cold will have penetrated remarkably deep into southern regions, affecting tens of millions of people simultaneously. We're talking about wind chills in the 20s along the Gulf Coast and single digits across the Ohio Valley. A significant shot of Arctic air. But wait, because the second Arctic blast arriving Saturday and Sunday will be even more impressive and widespread than the first. This secondary Arctic surge will be both more extensive geographically and more intense thermodynamically than what we experience midweek. By Sunday morning, most areas in the Ohio Valley, Midwest, and Northeast will experience sub-zero wind chills with dangerous cold conditions. Even Florida will feel the significant bite, with temperatures approaching freezing as far south as Orlando, remarkable for mid-January. That temperature reach speaks to exactly how strong and impressive this particular atmospheric pattern has become. Let me break down snow expectations by specific region so you know precisely what to prepare for in your area. Starting with the Midwest, this region will experience multiple rounds of snow over the next 7 days with accumulating potential. Milwaukee and Madison residents should expect several inches of accumulation from multiple systems, with lake effect enhancement from Lake Michigan. Cleveland and Toledo area residents are positioned for excellent snow accumulation potential, enhanced by proximity to Lake Erie. Columbus and Dayton residents will see moderate accumulations from the primary systems, with additional light snow from secondary energy. Pittsburgh sits perfectly positioned for terrain-enhanced snowfall from multiple systems as they interact with Appalachian topography. Buffalo and Rochester residents should prepare for significant lake-effect snow production following each system passage. Syracuse area residents face excellent prospects for substantial snow accumulation from both synoptic systems and lake effect enhancement. Boston and Hartford residents will experience accumulating snow from the organized systems, though amounts depend on exact storm tracks. New York City area residents should monitor developments closely because slight track adjustments could significantly impact your snow totals. Philadelphia area residents are positioned in that critical zone where temperature profiles will determine final precipitation type and accumulation. Washington, D.C. residents should understand that you're in the transition area where winter weather impacts could vary significantly by location. Subscribe right now because beyond this immediate active period, the pattern shows continued winter weather potential extending well into early February. The Ridge West, Trough East pattern appears remarkably persistent, suggesting sustained cold and snow chances for the eastern United States. Richmond and Norfolk residents should monitor temperature trends carefully because you're positioned where slight changes dramatically affect winter weather potential. Charlotte and Raleigh residents face interesting possibilities because this pattern could deliver your most significant winter weather in several years. Birmingham and Huntsville area residents should pay attention to elevation effects because higher terrain significantly increases snow potential. In terms of total snowfall over the next 7 days, here's what the comprehensive blend of models suggests for accumulation expectations. The highest totals will occur across the Appalachian Mountains and in the Great Lakes snow belts, where some locations could approach or exceed 1 foot. When you add up all the various events over the 7-day period, these favored areas could see truly impressive accumulation totals. Western Michigan, northern Indiana, and areas downwind of Lake Erie represent the prime targets for these higher accumulation amounts. Across the broader Midwest, Ohio Valley, and Northeast, a widespread 2 to 7 inches is on the table for most locations. Some areas will see the higher end of that range with multiple systems, while others might end up lower depending on exact storm tracks. Either way, winter weather will make its presence felt across a huge swath of the country with significant impacts. The southern extent of accumulating snow remains the biggest question mark and most challenging aspect of this forecast. Tennessee looks likely to see at least some accumulating snow, particularly in eastern portions of the state near the mountains. Kentucky is also well positioned for measurable snow accumulation from multiple systems moving through the region. How far south accumulating snow penetrates into Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi will depend on precise timing and atmospheric coordination. The potential definitely exists for southern snow, but confidence remains appropriately low for significant accumulations in those areas. Tell me in the comments which specific aspects of this forecast you'd like me to explore further, because this pattern affects so many different regions. Jacksonville and Miami residents won't experience direct winter weather impacts, but this cold will definitely reach Florida with temperature effects. The bottom line is this: we're entering one of the most active winter weather periods we've seen in quite some time. Multiple systems combined with repeated Arctic blasts will keep conditions unsettled across the eastern United States for the foreseeable future. Whether you're in Minneapolis or Miami, this remarkable pattern will affect you in some way, whether through direct snowfall, bitter cold, or both. The atmospheric momentum clearly supports sustained winter weather activity rather than isolated events, creating multiple opportunities for significant accumulation. For those who've been waiting for authentic winter weather, this pattern represents exactly what you've been hoping to experience this season. Hit that notification bell so you receive immediate updates as these systems develop and track across the country over the next several days. This represents a fundamental shift from the quiet weather we've experienced recently into something much more dynamic and winter-like. Thank you for joining me for this comprehensive analysis of what promises to become a truly significant and memorable winter weather pattern. Stay warm, stay safe, stay prepared, and stay tuned for the latest updates as these fascinating winter weather systems continue developing.